Was good. Everyone, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. We're gonna get right down to it. I just wanted to highlight the public lynching, the cremation, the scorching that happened the other day. It just goes to show you once again how individuals been parading around here like they know about the boxing business. Um, you know, it has been said that WCS is jealous or whatever, and I'm trying to find out of what. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's get right down to it. What am I? I'm just doing a reaction, just like I did back in the day on a lot of people. What's wrong? It's public information. You know what I'm saying? Let's get right down to it. I don't want to take too much time. You know what I'm saying? Because I know this baby he gonna start crying about little small stuff. But this is from iPad pager number 68. You know what I'm saying? When he's talked to Brian Norman, Senior, and I felt that the interview itself, it wasn't bad. It was just missing a lot of experience. You know what I'm saying? A lot of experience per se. If you know what I mean by experience, it's just pretty much saying you have the ones that's on the front line. You know what I'm saying? And in that front line, you have experience that you learn by showing up to fights and everything. It's just the way it goes. Um, for some people, they seem like they can cheat the system by pretending that they're going to get the same abundance of knowledge remotely, sitting in their freaking corner next to their closet in the basement, behind the shed, the tool shed. And that's the way it's going to be. And they're going to be able to become experts that way, even though they're missing intricate parts, you know what I'm saying, to how the boxing business work. Talking with the fighters in person, talking with the managers in person. You know what I'm saying? Doing all the necessary legwork that's required. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it. You have a lot of people that's willing to just say, I gotta make these super chats, but yet they want to tell you they're making all this money and they're making more money, but they can't retire. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been retired, over 15 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? But they can't get off this damn internet shit. They gotta stay on the YTC. They gotta stay embedded. And then they get mad when somebody is doing a reaction to public record. This is public record. Just like you get your public information from other news sources, I do the same thing.
A fighter not nearly as good as Boots Ennis, instead of fighting for more money in a bigger fight against Jerron Boots Ennis. That's the definition of a duck. So I'll start there, and I'll let you respond to that.
Okay. So, first of all, again, as I told Fun, I don't know if you were listening, this whole thing was for Boots. This whole situation, everything that was put together was for Boots. We have our own program. The program that we was on, first of all, my son wasn't supposed to fight anymore this year. He won the title. They didn't expect him to win the title. They asked us that we want to we would have had to fight next year. We said, hell no, we were supposed to have 3 more fights this year under contract with Top Rank, per contract with Top Rank. Of course, he's a world champion now, so the contract changes. So his fights that he do a year is gonna change. But my son, 23 years old, he likes to fight. He wanted to fight. So we're like, no, we need to get a fight this year. They threw the Teofimo situation as up. We tried that for Teofimo September the 27th. Okay, that didn't work out.
So when you have somebody listening to another human being that's more integrated into the boxing scene than they are, the only thing they're trying to do is not be open minded, I know what I'm saying, and collecting data, really listening to the intel that's been given to them. They're just trying to find something that is wrong so they can gossip and debate about it. And that's where this particular individual went wrong, because he was steadily trying to just look for information that was wrong, because that's his type. You know what I'm saying? That's his type. His shit is negative information. Or if he gets some positive information, he find a way to turn it into the negative. That's where he was at with it. And that's why I did a reaction, because you was looking for negative stuff on a fighter that you really don't rock heavy with. You know what I'm saying? You want to find what he's saying is wrong, but yet you're unwilling and don't have the cojones to pull Bozy Ennis over here and try the same thing with him. Where are all these fighters attaching themselves to specific fighters and make it seem so obvious that you're a hater? You know, knowing that nigga, he probably just hate him because he down here in Georgia and he act like ain't nothing going on. He ain't a popular fighter. He wasn't hating on Brian Norman when he's supposed to, go to BLK Prime. It was none of that was going on.
Then they say, okay, well, we got a slot for y'all. This is before Boots. We got a slot for y'all November the 8th. You know what I'm saying? On Keyshawn Davis undercard. You know, you can take it leader with, you can the co-main event, you can take it, or you can fight next year. Fuck that. We're going to get in where we fit in. We took it. So again, this is already in place. This is already done. The opportunity of a boost come up. Hey, would y'all like to take this fight for $750,000? Shit, we'd love to fight, but we ain't doing $750,000. So fast forward, we looking at it like, okay, well, shit, we doing them a favor. We know about the Karen situation. We know about everything. Okay, cool. Let's do it. But when we do it, I want my son to walk away. But at least, again, I'm tired of talking about this shit, but I'm on here, so I'm going to talk about it. I want my son to walk away with at least $2 million if he going to go take this opportunity, because, again, he has his own legacy to live. He got his own road to run that's already set up for him to go walk, just like Jerron did when he was 23 years old. You know what I mean? Again, when he was a 23-year-old non-title holder. My son is off to a better start than Jerron in it, right? Right now, wait. So you want to talk facts? I'm gonna ask you? Is that a fact?
No, I see a lot
wait. So it's not a fact. It's not a fact that my son is a 23-year-old world champion and Jerron Ennis was not. That's not a fact.
Oh no, that's a fact. But let's not get off track. See,
no, we not. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna answer everything you said. I promise you. I'm gonna go.
Go ahead, because you contradicted yourself like 5 times. But
what did I contradict?
So number one, you said in one breath that you weren't supposed to fight again this year at all, but then in the next breath you said y'all had plans to fight Teofimo on September 27th, but Teofimo pulled out. So that's a contradiction.
So stop right here. So stop right there.
Go ahead.
Stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
After my son won the title, there was no more dates for my son to fight anymore this year. We told him we wanted to fight. That's when the Teofimo situation came up, and we said, hell yeah, we want that fight. That would have gave us the opportunity to fight again this year.
And then that fell through. That fell through.
And then
y'all had the undercard fight lined up.
No, that was fell through. We said, hey, when we looking pushing, can we get a fight? So again, my bad. Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay. We're gonna address it. We're gonna go to drink our love because we try to cook them with fat. Because I'm cooking that right there.
When that
we can't talk at the same time.
I'm just trying to make sure I understand.
Okay.
So when that fell through, that's when they came with the undercard fight that you already had lined up, right?
Absolutely. That's what they said.
So by the time Boots Ennis reached out to you, you already knew that you were fighting this year again anyway, correct?
Well, by the time Boots Ennis reached out to us, we had the fight. We knew we was gonna take the fight. Top Rank gave us. They gave us the blessings. We could have got out of that shit. Yes.
Okay.
We could have got out of that. That was done. You can go look and listen to the Boxing Boy. And the first interview I ever did on it, Nash knew about that day because, of course, he had inside information on that day. He was like, but y'all got a date. Don't y'all got a date? And he gave the date. And I said, man, fuck that date. Go back and listen. Everything I listen to you will never be able to listen. Let me tell you something. You will never be able to cook shit I say because everything I say is an absolute fact. But go ahead and tell me what else I contradict.
Real quick. Hey, pause real quick.
quick.
Yes, sir.
What's that source you gave again? For you said Ness what? I'm talking to Brian. I just
Wait,
want to know
what's
what was the source that you gave. You said go check something.
Go check the very first interview that I did with Ness about the one when I said they turned it down, You'll hear Ness say, but y'all got a date. You got a date. You'll hear Ness saying that I got a date, and I kept saying fuck that date.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that's okay.
Yeah.
That's a boxing
Yeah,
question.
I said, fuck that day. He knew see, it's so twisted right now. You got people, he knew he had his date in the first place. We was able to get out of that date. That wasn't an issue.
I just wanted. I didn't want to interrupt too much. If you give something to cite, I just want to write it down so I can.
Yeah. That's cool.
Go ahead, KO.
Yeah, and so I knew that as well, which is why I thought the fight would never happen. But what I'm saying to you is, you mentioned the $750,000 that they offered you. That was the first offer, correct?
Right. Yes, sir.
What were the numbers on the second and third offer?
The numbers on. Okay, this is exactly how.
Listen to me, y'all. Why at this juncture are you trying to revive information that's already living on so many platforms? This is what I'm talking about, asking and being pretentious. You know what I'm saying? Premeditated shit, being malicious, adducing questions for a freaking adverse reaction. This information about the second and third offer is already out there. Senior, he selected to go on the panel and repeat this. So my point is that this particular dude, iPad Pager, he already knew what the second and third offer was. He's just asking the question that he know the answer to, just so he can come around and counter with a negative freaking response, or to dress it up with another question, as if he's smart, if he's trying to, as if he's trying to be sly about it, as this is a fox, a game of the foxes, you know what I'm saying, who can be the more clever, methodical, sneaky type of freaking talking piece. I'm talking to you, and I'm acting like I'm having a dialogue, but yes, I'm trying to expose the business of boxing that I don't know anything about. I just want to sit up here and argue with somebody. That's exactly what he's doing. How is this productive to those who are listening in? You think that the person you're talking to is a promoter? You're talking about somebody who has put in work with their kid for years and years and years, just like a lot of other people. So it's up to you to basically, come to this point when he become world champion and you start to pay attention. And now you want to talk about one champion when you have two champions to talk to? You have two freaking champions. Why isn't Bozy on your channel? Why isn't you dressing him up like this? Why aren't you trying to say, oh, I got some questions to ask. I got some questions to ask. Why you ain't dressing boots? You believe that he's the better fighter, right? So let's talk about leadership. 27 years old, he's older than Norman. Why haven't you asked or requested Boots to be on there as an older 20-year-old, as an older champion, the one that's supposed to be more popular? Why haven't you asked or requested for him to join so you can drill him? Because last time I checked, when you have a job of employment and the longer you work there, you build up tenure, you build up seniority. So therefore, the same thing can happen in life. When you age and get older, you're supposed to have maturity, right? You're supposed to have a lot more knowledge about your occupation. Whatever you got going on, whether it's life lessons, just maturity in general, boxing, you're supposed to have a bit more maturity about it, right? So if you compete in the sport, you're talking about somebody who has over 30 professional fights. So therefore, shouldn't you ask him what more he could have done to make this fight happen? Granted, everything was in his favor. He was with Eddie Hearns, right? He wasn't paying the fees out his check that Norman had to pay. They was coming over to his backyard. He has another opportunity to fight in the Wells Fargo Center, right? Am I lying? So therefore, there was a lot of pluses that Ennis had. And you're trying to tell me that it no way, shape, or form crossed your mind that you should be questioning Ennis on why he didn't do more for the fight to happen?
I went on Saturday. They called, offered the 750. We sent the counter offer back Sunday. I called Boulder Sunday. I told Boulder, look, I want my son to walk away with $2 million. I was very transparent about this. Told him I want my son to walk away with $2 million, or whatever the case may be. I said, but should we go see if we can work it out and make it happen? Boulder was like, nah. Boulder didn't know what the hell I was talking about. We thought that fight was dead because Boulder was like, nah, we'll take the camera. We got to take the camera. We told you what we're going to do. We're going to fight for undisputed. So that, and me, in my mind, I got the man on the phone, Bozy, telling me that this fight is dead. So I'm like, well, shit, I'm telling my team, man, this fight ain't fucking happening. They bullshit. Matchroom trying to do this shit behind Boo's back. So in our mind, that's what we're thinking. So we counter, we go ahead and counter with what I said, where I want my son to walk over $2 million. So they counter with 2.8. That would have put my son at $2 million with the 2.8, right? So we counter with 2.8. They come back with on Monday. Mind you, I already talked to Moses Sunday, so we think they full of shit. They don't even know what they're talking about. That Boost them already said they don't even want to fight because Boost is Bozy to me. So I'm just in Bozy and Boost are the same. So like now,
Hey, is my audio good? Can y'all hear me? Is my audio good? Let me know if my audio good. Let me know if my audio is good. Just put a Y if my audio is good. Anybody? Okay, cool, Toby. Appreciate you.
they don't even fucking want to fight. They don't even know what they're talking about. So they come back with 1.5. This is on Monday.
So they offer 750. Mm-hmm. You guys counter with 2.8.
Yep.
They come back at 1.5.
We'll come back at 1.5. On Monday, they come back at 1.5. So they come back at 1.5 or whatever, and I'm telling, why the fuck are they doing this? I'm telling my whole team, I'm telling my like, Bull said they were like, well, we're going to catch it. We're going to see what's up. And wherever they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. Because, again, they've been listening to what I'm saying about Boots don't even want to fight. We don't even know. So they counted back with, I don't remember what the counter was. They counted back. It was 2 point something. But it was less than 2.8. So they counted back with 2 point something after that.
Was it 2.2 million? That's the number that's going around.
No, that's what we wanted. That was in the end.
I thought I wanted 2.8.
No. We started at 2.8. That would have made my son walk away with 2 point. I'm sorry, that would have made my son walk away with 2. We did the 2.8. My son would have walked away with 2. So in the end, they counted back with 2 point.
Just real quick. So 750 was the initial offer. You responded.
They counted 2.8.
With 2.8.
Mm-hmm.
They came back with 1.5. You went. They came back. Back.
Confusing, huh? Look, I have no idea why this even a topic of discussion. Like, what's the end game with this? That's what I want to know. I know I wasn't on the panel, right? What's the end game with talking numbers when clearly you have interviewed someone who has been on panels for an extensive rotation, right? And a very, very extended rotation. My question to you is, those two that's on the panel, and those of you that's talking about somebody got cooked. Let me propose this to those in the chat that's saying somebody got cooked. What was the offers given to Barrios right off the back? If they asked for 2.8 and they came back with 1.5, that's extremely outside of the request, right? I mean, that counters way below what was offered to Barrios and Stanthionis firsthand. Initially, why wasn't that brought up as to the motives that Matchroom had with offering Stanthionis? Is Stanthionis a better boxer than Norman? Is he in line to fight? No, I didn't hear his name. Barrios, no, I haven't heard. He has a kid on deck. I haven't heard any of that. But at the end of the day, you did hear iPad Pager say something about, well, the word is going around, right? The word is going around. Why wasn't the word that's going around that the other two champions in the division was initially offered higher than the counter offer that you just heard of 1.5? Why wasn't that addressed as one of the references? You just going to leave that out on how they was trying to play? You're going to come way below what you offered the other two champions in the division? You offer the other two champions in the division, they turned down a higher freaking sum of money than what the Normans just told you of 1.5, dog. That wasn't important for you all. Even 1.7 was below the monetary range that was offered to them. They didn't go back and forth, back and forth. This wasn't a monetary tennis match. This wasn't a freaking PGA. Why wasn't the other two fighters offered very low amounts? If look, what was the agenda behind all of it? Because if Norman was the one that they was actually, honestly, right, trying to make the fight with, why would they make it so difficult? But yet, two fighters, two existing champions outside of these two fighters, Ennis and Norman, why would they offer higher amounts if you was out there listening and you said that's the word that's going around? Why wasn't that included into the argument?
The one we counted the second time, the reason I don't know is because it was a bullshit to me because Bozer already told me that the fight wouldn't happen. So that's why I really was out of it. I'm gonna tell you when I got back into it.
Last one, but it ended with the last one being 2.2.
The last one was 2.2 hours. Yes.
About some of those offers.
Yes, our last counter offer is 2.2. Yes, sir.
So all these unemployed chief financial officers, and all this, word that goes around in this YTC spoofing effort, right? Everybody becomes experts when it comes to the numbers, right? So what I'm saying once again, like, who cares what the offers, or what they requested, the 2.2, it still came back at this amount right here, and then they spoke with their team. That's who was supposed to be in the conversation. The TEAM. The TEAM consists of a lot of people, including management. So, like I said before, AC was on the Boxing Voice. It allowed this individual to look at that entire interview that Ness did with AC, right? And you can collect that data so you can be more properly prepared for this moment right here. But see, you're not going to be properly prepared if you have an agenda. If you're trying to make somebody look a certain way, you know what I'm saying? If you so-called did your homework, you wouldn't even have to ask these numbers because the answer is already public freaking record, and he's already been on other panels saying the same thing he just told y'all. So this is just a retread of the same shit that's been out there forever and a day. And the only reason that it's being discussed is for this cat right here to use it as a pincushion, to try to poke holes in it and find a way to act like he's gonna catch somebody's line. And look, let's just say he catch Norman Senior line. What's the punishment? That's what I want to know. What is the freaking punishment? What is the penalty? What court did they have to go to? Who's residing over this? You? Did you go to the bar? You know what I'm saying? What's the reason behind this? Because this makes the YTC look so bad. It looks bad.
Okay.
But listen, let me give you the timeline of when this was. It's going to trip you out, though. Or it ain't going to trip you out because you don't want to hear it. But listen, this is how it went, though. Again, they made the offer Saturday. Next Sunday, see the calendar.
Something happened.
They made the offer Saturday. We come back Sunday with the counter. They come back Monday with theirs, and we come back with another.
What was theirs on Monday? What was theirs on Monday?
Just 1.5.
Oh, I thought you was on the next one. I thought you was on the third one.
No,
Go ahead,
Monday is the first one. Monday, yeah. It's 750. They only gave 3 offers. 750, 1.5, and 1.7 on their own 3 offers.
That's clear, right? Was that clear enough for y'all? It's clear enough to me.
It was on the third one.
No,
Go ahead,
Monday is the first one. Monday, yeah. It's 750. They only gave 3 offers. 750, 1.5, and 1.7 on their own 3 offers.
Was that clear, right? So he said they only gave them 3. Within that 3, it was up to them to make a decision with their team on what they was going to do, how they was going to proceed. Granted, it was a lot more, intricate details that goes along with this negotiation process. which led up to the reason of them pulling out. This is very, very familiar territory, right? For those of you that's talking about so and so got cooked, because look, they tried the same thing with Crawford, and they said, "Oh, here you go again." Yes, I'm bringing it back up because when he pulled out negotiations with Spence, these was the same characters up here saying that, yeah, Crawford, he don't know anything about business. He's moving funny. He up here, he's considered a duck because he dropped out of a negotiation on him and Spence potentially making net pay. Making net pay, y'all. Potentially making net pay in one of the biggest fights of this era. And one of the fighters selected to digress and then egress away from negotiations and fight David Avanesian. And all the ridicule and criticism that went around that, only to come back in 23 and both fighters get their highest payday. So why are these individuals, more so iPad Pager, acting like he wasn't the same hater back then in 2020? What? 2020 what? You was the same one back there in 2022 criticizing the shit out of Crawford for stepping away from negotiations because they wasn't beneficial to what he wanted and what and when he wanted to fight. All they had to do was make it so he can be able to fight in 22. He agreed to everything. That's what you were saying, right? So he agreed to everything, but they didn't want the fight to happen in 2022 because the budget wasn't right. So that man went over there to BOK Prime and got paid. But yet we still had the same haters over here talking about he bad for business and moving funny. Come around 23, Errol Spence Jr., their more popular fighter, hires AC, the very same name that they using for a reference to try to make it seem like now Brian Norman has did something wrong. No, keep the same fucking energy. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to go into this with deceptive motives, let everybody know, hey, I'm going to hear the bullshit, y'all. Real talk. I'm just letting you know. Yeah, I'm going to be totally disingenuous about this whole approach. I'm just letting you know now. Yeah, Adrian Clark, he did go over there and do his thing with Spence. Why did Spence select, check this out, their iPad Pager, why did Spence select to go to the very same manager that you won't find some desperate way to criticize for the decision they made to pull out this freaking fight when you seen him on freaking The Boxing Voice and you heard what he said? Somehow Spence felt that it was better for him to divert his freaking itinerary and find AC and find out a whole lot of things that he was missing out on as far as his monies to hire AC. But y'all's the same one that was up here. Ray, hooray, Ray, PDC, Al Heyman. That is the only way. That is the only way. No other way. He's the only way. Not for Spence. Because Spence felt in 23 that he had to change directions. He had options. And that option was the very same common denominator in Fighters First Management. Wouldn't you know that? That is incredible. Wouldn't you freaking know it? It worked out well for Errol Spence, their favorite fighter, but they still was hating on Bud because he ended up shutting that down in the actual night in question. But now Brian Norman is on deck, and there's really no reason for them to be trying to chop at the base of the tree with a motherfucking butter knife. Just trying to find any freaking problem that's wrong with them pulling out of the fight as if they weren't in communication with their freaking manager. The very same manager that Spence hired prior to him stepping in the ring with Crawford. Now you trying to tell me you wasn't the same one that was up here talking about how Al Heyman is this, that, and the other, and he charges this and this percentage, and y'all was going around here unqualified freaking CFOs and freaking life coaches, and y'all was talking about, oh man, y'all wanted to brush that shit on the rug when he signed up with AC. Errol Spence was on record saying, damn, it's a lot of shit I didn't know. Then he sent out the tweet, that iPad pager, oh, I felt played. I feel played. What was he talking about he feel played? What was he talking about, bro? What was he talking about when he put out the tweet, I feel played? Why did he have to go seek out AC? If AC is not beneficial and you try to, in your other freaking live stream, say, oh man, AC must be, doing y'all something dirty. Man, you're no good, bro. Because it's just not them saying, oh, we ain't going to take the fight. AC said, no, I want to set a standard. With that standard, I have to set boundaries. With those boundaries, they have to be respected. In order for them to be respected, they have to be presented. And I'm presenting a boundary. We're not going to take this type of money with all the damn deductions that we have to pay out for this fight. Regardless of what numbers y'all blindly seeing. A 1.7, 17 times, 17 times, 17 times. That's all y'all was looking at. And y'all was being told with all the deductions that was being removed, and then they had taxes to pay, you still want to get on here and act like you about to goddamn be the judge and the jury. You know what I'm saying? You are the adjudicator.
Office. So watch this. So it come back Monday with 1.5. Now, in my mind, this shit dead. They talking shit. They're talking outside their head. And then that's when we found out them sending about the we found out later about them sending out offers to everybody. So anyway, I'm thinking now they're not gonna fucking make this fight. Boosting don't even want this damn fight. They don't even know what they're doing. So that's why I don't even know what our counter was, but it was less than 2.8. Thursday come. There's nothing coming back. So whatever they counted back with is less than 2.8. Whatever they counted back with, Thursday come. That's when the video get released of Boots saying they turned it down. So now I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck is going on? Boots do want to fight. Boots did want to fight. Boza didn't even know about this shit. So now that's when I do the interview with the boxing boys. And I'm like, no, we do want to fight. We made a counter offer. We made this. We made that. That's when Ed Hurd responded immediately and said, Brian, if you made a counter offer, we didn't get it. We don't know. That's a fucking lie right there because you already know you had one counter offer from us. That's why you counted back with 1.5. So you already know you had a first counter offer with us from the first time. So you didn't even admit that in the interview. So now, fast.
Talking about not admitting certain things. This interview with Norman Sr. happened after Matchroom didn't win the purse bid, right? So people start jumping online saying, we have questions. Those questions is, why wouldn't you win the purse bid if you're really trying to grow Boots? Isn't that what Senior was talking about when they was claiming these unqualified CFOs and managers and remote freaking content creators who deem themselves a part of boxing in the most intricate role playing that nobody knows about? Like people call them up for advice before they start negotiations. They want to be Al Heyman so bad. You know what I'm saying? They want to be Al Heyman so bad. They want people to say, oh man, the best on the YTC that's never been a part of zero negotiations in professional sports. The one and only debate king. It doesn't register like that, bro. It doesn't register like that. If he really wanted to fight, why he didn't win the purse bid? Why are you even having this interview? Why are you asking the fighter who wasn't making all the arrangements? They wasn't coming down here to the A. They wasn't coming to GA. Ennis wasn't coming down here. Ennis wasn't the one who was having to pay out all the deductions. Y'all would have been on here talking about how bad that was. You know what I'm saying? How that's bad for business. That makes no sense at all. Y'all would have been on here complaining. Why is this conversation even going on? What is your message to the people? Real talk, what is your message in even participating in this dialogue? What are you trying to find out? What are you searching for? That's all I want to know. When you go about this the way you do, all I'm doing, I'm just trying to ask a simple question as to what is your agenda? Like, what is the purpose of asking these questions? Do you believe the more and more people that you can get into a contentious type of dialogue with or argument, that somehow gets people more interested to tune in and watch you because it's full of controversy. What is your purpose, man? That's what I want to know. It's a little shabby to me. All the information after Eddie Hearns did not put forth enough money to win the purse bid, and Boots is potentially getting about around the same, just a little bit more money for his freaking purse, and may have to relocate and go into the fighter's backyard when he was in a fight where Norman would have to go to his backyard. That's if negotiations would have worked out. That's if the negotiations would have worked out. And look, y'all trying to put all the culpability on someone doing negotiations for a fighter, but yet Hearns didn't even win the freaking purse bid. For that fighter to maintain his freaking home field advantage, to fight a fighter nobody wants to see. You know, he couldn't even double up in the home field advantage and run the bases again because no one wants to see it, and they made it public that no one wants to see him face Carrying Part 2. So why in the heck is that not being criticized and talked about? Y'all should be talking to Team Ennis than team freaking Norman. You know why? Because y'all keep on acting like they was doing the driving. If you went to fights, you would know that negotiations is a process. Yes, sometimes they have timelines. I don't know how many you haven't been a part of. I would say all of them. But you may need to do a little bit more credible research prior to coming over here asking questions and acting like you're cooking someone as to it benefiting the boxing publics like you're teaching. You're not teaching anybody anything. All you're doing is showing people once again you can go argue with people. You can go argue with people about something that you're not a professional nor an expert at.
Forward, he said what he said about that. So now it gets out in the open. So now it's like, okay, Boots do want to fight. He's saying everybody turned it down. So let's really do this negotiation. Let's really make this shit happen. Let's really make some shit shake. You feel what I'm saying? So fast forward, now we're at that they hit back. The lawyers, it was email. Lawyers hit back, say, we didn't realize you sent the counter offer when you're actively counter offering. So I'm like, I asked Jamil from YSM, I said, hey, when did he do that interview? He said he did the interview Tuesday. I said, what time? He did the interview Tuesday at 12 o'clock. Well, I said, well, damn, they made the counter offer Monday. We didn't send out, well, they made their counter offer 1.5 Monday. We didn't send the other offer, which I really don't know what it was. Less 2.8 though. When we said I was back Tuesday. So I said, they told Boots that we turned it down in the middle of open negotiations. That's bullshit.
Why is they telling Boots false information to put out to the public and saying they turned it down when they sent the counter offer after the interview that he did with one of his primary media guys? Like, if we can connect the dots or go through the alphabet and line all this shit up, why can't you? Obviously, there was lies being spewed. And you know there was lies out there. So we already know that you have an agenda. You know, you may know, if you took the time, that this information is already available to the public. So if he's telling you information that you should know already, why you didn't take it as food for thought, make your copious notes, and digress from the agenda that you're on right now? You know what I'm saying? With all this information that you're hearing, facts, right? This is factual information. It didn't deter you from staying on track and being nefarious about this whole freaking interview. That's why you're not going to have people wanting to come to your freaking channel to do interviews. Because you want to cause animus. You want to ask the so-called hard questions like you're going to get some freaking call up. Like they're going to call you to be on ESPN. Like they're going to call you to get sponsorship anywhere. No, this is going to be where you at. You ain't going nowhere past this. This was a waste of time. So that's why I'm taking my time, today, this Tuesday, and doing the reaction to it.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's how that whole thing started. They said the lawyers hit back, like I just told you, and say, we didn't realize you sent a counter offer. That was 4 or 5 days of nothingness. The last offer they came back with, which was the day they hit, I don't know when it was. This whole thing went on for 2.5 weeks of nothingness, really. The last day they hit back was 1.7. We said no, 1.7. I said, you know what? I asked B, because we had already talked about it. I asked B, I said, look, bro, we get you over me, we get 1.2 million, they can whoop his ass. Just real talk. I said, they can whoop his ass, 1.2. They do, because we had already said 2 million. Fuck that shit, let's do 1.2. Let's get it. He said, I bet. So we did the math on what he needed to get 1.2. That's 2.2. Well, shit, let's get it. We put it back in for 2.2. That was.
Seems like negotiations to me. He wanted to get 1.2. They wanted to do an offer at 2.2. It seems like, it seems like negotiation to me. This isn't new. You know what I'm saying? This is not, new, a new type of jewel, fossils that they're finding that they used to use back in the day. And we found somebody to be able to translate them. They was written in code. This is not something new. This has been going on for quite some time. Their first language is English when they're doing this negotiation. They don't need to hire a dragoman for this shit. So I'm just curious as to why, bro. Why take so much time and listen to what the offers were if all you want to say is, y'all duck boots. If your whole intentions was to use the duck, why waste people time trying to cipher through the negotiations process that you wasn't a part of, and you have the same information that he's telling you, and you really moving it nowhere? You not even moving the needle. You just want to talk, just to bring it back to say, oh, well, Norman Jr. duck boots. What is the importance of this shit? It's just like babies getting a pacifier. Do y'all get pacified and mention duck every single time a fight doesn't happen? Do you want the fights to happen in the sport, or don't you? Do you or don't you? I just want to know, do you want the fights to happen or not? Because y'all niggas up here acting like just because you go up here and say a fighter ducked, a fighter ducked, a fighter ducked. What is that doing for you, though? You don't get nothing extra, nothing beneficial, nothing of value. None of that shit on this YTC. But y'all cats keep on using this freaking rudimentary word as if every time you use it, it's going to be in the algorithm and you're going to get more value for it the next time around. No, that's not the case.
The last one, right? And then that's how this whole thing started. That was when in the end, and it blew up and this and like, bro, you telling my son can he walk over with fucking $1 million? Fuck that, fuck out of here. Then why are we even doing this? We don't need to do this for y'all. Again, Boost wasn't where my son was when he was 23. Boost walked his path. He walked his path, went from $300,000 to 3.3 million. Well, guess what? My son even made it $300,000 before Boost. Everything my son is doing is ahead of Boost, if you want to look at it that way. Everything he is doing is ahead of Boost. So we made the decision of, you know what? Fuck Boost. Not to say fuck on a disrespect where that, but fuck what they're trying to do for his career. That doesn't better us. We can stay on our own path and keep doing what we're doing on our own, and we don't have to fucking play by their rules. Simple as that. That's what the whole thing was about. Anything else that I missaid.
So here's what I would respond to with all of that. Number one, I would ask, and you don't have to tell me because I'm
gonna tell you.
No, okay. So you can't answer. How much money did you make to fight Giovanni Santillan, and how much are you making in this fight?
He made over $100,000 to fight Giovanni Santillan. He ain't made no $75,000, whatever the fuck they say. He made over $100,000.
Over 100.
No,
over 100.
He made over. Wait. Watch this. He made over 100. No, he has minimums. His minimums is more than double what I just said. Let's say that. I can't give out his minimums. His minimums is more than double what I just said. Now, wait a minute.
And let's bookmark that, right? Because now he transitioned into something that these individuals probably would know. I know Shaw News would know, being that he's pretty much integrated into the managerial position. You know what I'm saying? And haters are not going to be receptive once again to basically listen to the consultation of someone who's actually in the business. But check this out. Now we're talking about the minimals. This is an area where these type of dudes like iPad don't really mention. He made with Giovanni, but when he fought Giovanni, what happened? Wasn't that for the title? He didn't have the title heading in there. He had to fight for the title. So once you become champion, your minimals increase. I guarantee you, um, iPad Pager can't tell you what the minimums are of champions. He can't tell you. All they looking at, what did he make? It's just Giovanni. Huh? So they were going to pay you 17 times. 17 times. What does it matter to you? You're not getting a penny. You're not even getting an honorable mention. You hear me? You're not even getting an honorable mention off doing a live on money. Why would you need to know what they was paid for Giovanni? It's none of your freaking business, but it's public record.
Before you even go there, why people worried about what people...
10 minutes straight and I didn't say a word.
He was about to say, he said, why are people worried? Why are people worried about what somebody getting paid? And now he want to talk about what, how long somebody would talk. Let me fast forward just a bit.
$1 million, which put you in a whole nother stratosphere of tax bracket. So
where did 900,000 go?
Say what?
Where does that 900,000 go before taxes?
You got
but you're only getting 800.
I'm about to tell you.
Taxes. Where does
top rank get 25%, 45,000 a piece for the belts, 170 a piece or 340 some a piece, and everything else for the managers.
So you heard him say top rank get 25, right? And this is what AC mentioned. And you had these so-called experts up here correcting AC because he said 20. He said he was wrong on that. He was 25. These are people who are not in position, you know what I'm saying, of some of these managers who are aligned with fighters, you know what I'm saying? And they won't ask him for this. They won't ask these individuals that they don't like. They want to pretty much try to say they have the degree without actually attending the School of Hard Knocks. You know what I'm saying? The School of Hard Knocks, you don't have to actually be a fighter. You can be a part of the freaking institution. And how you be a part of the institution? A manager, trainer, you know what I'm saying? People that are involved in the negotiation process, people who understands what that consists of, licensed individual. This individual who's talking is not licensed. You know what I'm saying? Now, once again, to stay on topic, why do you need to know this, that, and the other? You know what I'm saying? When he confused him when he said top rank get 25, but he forget we're talking about top rank and their fighter crossing over to face Matchroom. All the fees, all the freaking complexity that goes into this negotiation just because he's fighting over there on Matchroom.
There's a whole bunch of fees and shit that come out before that even start.
A whole bunch of fees and shit. And I guarantee you this unlicensed, uneducated, unqualified individual don't know shit about that.
Man, when everything it came down to the end, my son would have got, at the end of the day, my son would have got a transfer or whatever else. Why the fuck are we discussing finance on boxers? But that don't even matter. Bottom line, my son would have got a fucking wire transfer of $810,000. So bottom line is, we looking at like, okay, $810,000, but you're getting taxed on $1.7 million. You finna go make almost half of that. You finna go make almost half of that right here with a less fight on your own thing, with less stress, and you're 23 years old. You feel what I'm saying? Bottom line, we don't have to walk in and they treating us like we did something wrong. First of all, the fight could have never happened. That's first of all. That's finding out later. The fight could have never happened in the first place. Second of all, you got them using us as scapegoats and shit to do this shit when we trying to do them a favor and create legacy in our own right. So we like, fuck y'all. Why we want to go to Philadelphia and fight up under your banner and fight and give away 30% and give away this and give? No, fuck y'all. We just stay our course. Again, fight for more than what Boots fought his last fight. Before he did 3.3 million, he finna make more than Boots made his last fight at 26 years old.
And you was talking about who was getting cooked again? Who was in the chat talking about somebody was getting cooked? See, when y'all say somebody's getting cooked just because you support a certain fighter, now you sounding like you're dismal. Like you just don't get the reason why I'm doing the reaction. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to act like, oh, I'm going for, I'm going to say somebody got cooked because I'm going for the actual fighter that he didn't fight. But you're getting information. He's giving you the information that you need to put the pieces together. You might not get all the pieces, but you can at least goddamn use your cognitive process. You know what I'm saying? In life to put it together. He's giving you gems.
Down and fight and give away 30% and give away this and give no fuck y'all. We just stay our course again. Fight for more than what Boots fought his last fight.
Fought more than what Boots fought his last fight, but that don't matter. That don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Way down by the river. That don't freaking matter. That don't matter that you have a younger fighter that's getting paid more than an older fighter, his last fight. But the only focus is what went on in this negotiation. It didn't happen. So they act like they coming in as the freaking hazmat team to clean up. You ain't cleaning up shit. You just making it worse. You're just making it worse. Because it ain't shit to clean up.
Before he did 3.3 million, he finna make more than Boots made his last fight at 26 years old. Mm-hmm. At 26, 27 years old. So we look at it like this, look, bro, we're in a wonderful place. We don't need to play their games. We're gonna stay our own path. He can stay his path. It ain't got nothing to do with ducking.
I know. Now, can I respond to everything? Because I haven't been able to talk. All right, so number one, the reason that we're talking about finances and business and boxing with boxers is because that's the reason that the fight was turned down, number one. Number two, as far as those fees that you talked about, you may have had to pay that 25% to Top Rank because you were going on a DAZN show, but you still have to pay them something off of significantly less money. So I don't know what y'all are making. Let's say y'all are making $400,000 to fight this next fight. You still got them.
Whoa.
Don't know what the fuck you talking about. Just going rambling on about shit you think you know, but you're not qualified to speak on.
Whoa. Who the fuck? Wait a minute. Why the fuck would you have to pay? Why would you have to pay your promoter to fight on their card? You ain't got to pay the promoter shit.
Why would you have to pay a promoter to fight on your card? This idiot just said that you may have had to pay Top Rank to fight on DAZN, right? But you still had to pay him, as if you still paying him money for the fight on Top Rank card. He's just gonna slide in there. You still, how to pay him at 25 or whatever percent he said, the fight on Top Rank card. Who? You just said it out your own mouth. He had to pay a certain percentage to fight on a different promotion.
They still taking your deal with Top Rank. They taking something.
No, they don't. They don't take nothing.
They taking something, y'all. This is what I talked about last night. Now it's freestyle time. Bang bang to the bang bang boogie to beat. Up jumps the boogie.
No, they don't. You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay,
you are telling me that Top Rank takes something.
Okay, so Top Rank don't charge a fee. Top Rank is promoting you for free.
No.
Top Rank is promoting you for free. Now it's Top Rank promoting you for free. They have to build a fight card. So I guess they're building this fight card, and not everybody's purses is the same. The first cautionary when they call these people's managers and they point a contact is to tell them, hey, how you doing? We wanted to see if you want to fight on our card. First of all, we're gonna present you with this number right here, and we need to tell you that we're gonna take 40% of that. Okay, so what we just gave you, $2,000, we're gonna take 40% of that, and that's without taxes. That's without goddamn your manager and everything else you have to pay for. This is where it gets very interesting to listen to this cat talk.
Yes, motherfucker. They don't charge nothing.
It's like zip lining into a fucking brick wall.
No, they don't charge shit. Bro, if you believe that you don't know shit about boxing, your promoter does not.
He don't.
I charge you. They're putting you on. You got to make them money. They're trying to make you a star so people can put eyes on you. You don't pay your fucking promoter. Your promoter pays you.
No.
You don't pay your promoter.
Hold on.
Look, this is incredible. When shit like this play out for the general public, it just shows you not everybody has comprehension on the topics that they select. Even I said I don't like talking about numbers because I'm not privy to the internal information that's going on behind the scenes. I speak on this a lot. Me talking about somebody else's earnings and wages is disrespectful. But I know people do it in a way that they're providing a media overlay out here to the general public. But if you're going to provide an overlay to people that are somewhat, majority of them, they're not attached nor are they affiliated with a fighter doing business, right? Majority, 98.5% of these listeners, they're not affiliated, right? They're just listeners. They just going along with the flow. So therefore, you have to be able to educate them with credible comprehension. You have to have your facts in a row. Now he's freestyling. He's finding out, based off what he just said, contradicting his own self. He said the 25% if he fights over there on the zone, but then turn around and say that the fighter's paying the promoter something. Oh, they just going to promote him for free? Not every fighter gets promoted the same anyway. It's some fighters that be on the undercard, and the only way you know they there is from BoxRec. Rookie.
1 second. I'm gonna get it right. I think what KO was saying is that you may not have to write the check to him.
Money. The fighter pays the promoter absolutely no money. Nothing. Nothing.
Hey, I gotta give it to you. I gotta give you the screenshot of all screenshots, man. I gotta give you the screenshots when you chose to swim in shark infested waters. Hey, man, it gets hilarious sometimes. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. It's hilarious, man. You know what I'm saying? Check this out. Check the looks. Check out the expressions, man. It's priceless. It's just priceless. This is what the YTC, this is what erratic behavior can do to you when you feel that you have an easy target. You know what I'm saying? Look at those expressions. Look at that. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Look at those expressions. Let's continue.
I've been around boxing for 30 years. I ain't never paid a promoter shit. Nothing. You pay your manager. You don't pay your promoter nothing. Now, what happens with the 30% that you're talking about, when you cross promote, the 30% or 25% comes because, hold on, boy. The 20.
That fee with the 25%.
Okay.
So we don't have to have that.
I know promoters.
Watch this. Listen. After he was corrected, you know what I'm saying? His professor, his sensei, his papa had to come in there and freaking coddle and micromanage the situation because he couldn't do it independently. So watch what he says now.
The show takes them off the top. But anyway, whatever. So
promoter.
The show takes it off the top. Okay, whatever.
all of that to the side, bro.
All of that to the side. I said this yesterday. It makes no sense to say all of that to the side when you're trying to wash away information that you don't know. You're trying to get the broom out now. You're trying to find the nearest rug. Oh my God, shit. I didn't know that right there. God damn. You can't sweep wet gravel under the carpet. That's where you at right now. You're not on the main road. You in wet gravel, bro. You want to goddamn all of that aside. You can't sweep no wet gravel to the side. You got to find your way back to the motherfucking main road where it's paved at, where you never was at from the beginning of this freaking interview. You want to sweep it to the side and just disrespect the fact that you're in an area that you don't know everything you need to know. You're unqualified, bro. That's all I'm saying. You're unqualified. You was unqualified to be in this dialogue. You was reaching. You was reaching, bro.
You still have you still have fees. You still got to pay for your belt when you fight for it as a voluntary. You still got to pay.
For one belt, not two.
You talk for like 15 minutes straight.
Oh,
People such as myself or calling it a duck. It's very simple, bro. It's because we're watching you and your son talk about you're doing Boots a favor. This is for Boots. We're doing Boots a favor. Last I checked, Brian Norman Jr. has a legacy as well. Brian Norman Jr. has the opportunity to unify as well.
So tell me this, y'all. He's trying to argue with Senior because he said they're doing Boots a favor. But yet he goes into detail, slightly that is, blindly that is, to say that Brian Norman is fighting for legacy too. Which everybody know they're two champions. Two newly crowned champions, right? Two newly crowned champions. Everybody knows that shit. You know what I'm saying? And Boots is coming up on his anniversary from the time that they freaking heisted that belt, you know, from Crawford's freaking collection, right? So he's pretty much trying to say, well, I'm just going to show people how old I really am. Because my scenario in this whole boxing dialogue, even though I'm on some bullshit, I'm going to say, hey, Brian Norman is taking, he has the opportunity to take advantage of this legacy too. He's not putting the older cat. You know how they say, you know, it take a village to raise a child. You know what I'm saying? So in this case, you have the older, you know, back when I was growing up, the older cats used to look out for the younger cats, right? So that dealt with them, you know, giving you some game, turning you on the game, giving you advice in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? You got a question that's a female around the block or whatever, and you think that's somebody you want to approach. You know, usually the older cats would tell you, hey, yay or nay on that, right? And just a brief scenario. In this case, if Norman's 23 and he picked up his belt after Boots, right? Why would you try to divert the attention back to Norman as if he's the teacher, like he was ever the A side, like they had the leverage to begin with heading into this negotiation? You are biasly attempting to redirect exposure to Norman Jr. when you should keep that shit on the 27-year-old, when you should have Team Boots on here, when you should be drilling Bozy on what Senior said about him not even knowing the fight, and that they was trying to damn make the fight for unification. Why haven't you had Bozy on your panel? Why aren't you requesting Bozy Ennis to come on to your panel? Why are you questioning a fighter that will have to walk and travel into the backyard of Philly once again, outside of his home footprint, and go into enemy territory and defend his belt and try to collect one in the first place? Why are you even considering acting like he has liability here? You know what I'm saying? As far as not doing his part, not giving in. The same way y'all wanted Crawford just to give in and lay at the front doorstep of the PBC. Now you're trying to pick and choose somebody else that don't even have shit to do with the motherfucking situation. And then I know you felt stupid when the picture came out and him and Spence took together. That's your boy, right? But you up here dogging out freaking the Normans when he took a picture with your guy.
Brian Norman Jr. is a fighter, just like Boots is a fighter. Boots' legacy is no bigger than that of your son's. So when we talk about it from that situation, that's
when we talk about that's all, folks.
why people are calling him a duck for that. And
ain't nobody calling him a motherfucking thing except you, nigga. Point blank, period. You just rambling and talking out your head. Ain't nobody calling nobody a duck. Who are they? Name them. Give us a full-blown list. Give them a sign a petition. Show us the documentation, beach conversation type shit. Let's do that type shit right there. All these people you talk about, all these so-called followers, the hundreds in attendance, can you get them to sign a petition? Who are these people you talking about? Where are all these people that's playing quack quack goose? Where's all these people that's believing that duck really means something when it comes to a boxing conversation? And who are you? You're not the proprietor of the word.
And then at the end of the day, bro, he is turning down far more money to fight a lesser fight. You can't get around that, and you never addressed that. He's fighting a lesser fight
Now, this is what I said yesterday, and I repeat myself. This guy right here, obviously, he comes in with the bare minimum. If you're gonna, try to compare him to a fighter's wages, you know what I'm saying? He's not even coming in as a debut. You know what I'm saying? He's coming in as a freaking sparring partner. He's an opponent. You know what I'm saying? That's how I treat this. Listen to his information. He said a far what opponent? Like, how do we know that? How are you going to say that the opponent that he's fighting is a lesser than Jaron Ennis when Norman and Ennis haven't fought yet?
Far more money to fight a lesser fight. You can't.
A lesser fight. How do we know that's a lesser fight? How do we know it's a lesser fight? Just because you're unfamiliar with the name, how do you know it's a lesser fight? Are you saying that about him fighting Corinne? See, this is where the contradiction and the bullshit comes to the surface. That's where you walk into a community bathroom and you see motherfuckers, you can only imagine, you see a toilet full of shit, and you say, damn, that's a lot of motherfuckers took shit when it was already shit in there, knowing that the motherfucker can't flush. That's the one example. The septic tank of boxing media. This is it. You don't know what that guy, people was up here talking. That shit is all over the media. They're saying no one wants to see Karen versus Ennis 2. Nobody. Even Herm said it. But you're over here talking about he's taking less money to fight a less of. What about the very same fighter that you haven't mentioned? And you're mentioning age. Why doesn't he get your attention to do more to make this fight happen? Why is he just being hey man, I got your text. You said what? Oh, they rejected the fight? Okay, I'm gonna do an interview with YSM and I'm gonna put it out right now. They turned down the fight. No, man. No, you're missing out the components that you need to really get people to tune in. And that's Team Ennis, bro. Team Ennis need to be on your panel.
Get around that, and you never address that. He's fighting a lesser fight. He is literally going on someone's undercard to fight for peanuts compared to what you guys were offered to fight Boots.
That's wild. He's talking about he's going on somebody's undercard. See, the crazy part about him saying he's going on somebody's undercard is the fact that you wouldn't even give any type of identity to that person you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? He going on somebody's undercard. Not just somebody now. We're talking about an Olympian. You're talking about an undefeated Olympian that has transitioned over to freaking professionals. We're talking about one of the more popular fighters at Top Rank. A fighter who's fighting in his backyard. He want to leave out all those underscores, right? He want to leave out all that. A fighter in Keyshawn Davis that's pretty much has his brother on the card. His brother's on the cards too. He's leaving out all that. He's not understanding that it's better for them to take this fight and get a check the same way that Crawford removed himself from negotiations to fight David Avanesian and then revisit. What is the fucking rush? What is the rush? Why do we need to get it right here, right now, this year, if the money ain't fucking right, yo? What is the fucking rush? Why are you rushing the fight? Are you supposed to get some freaking pay under the table? How many stacks of pennies, how many rolls of pennies are you getting for damn sitting up here trying to convince the public that, oh, he's fighting a lesser tier fight? What is the fucking rush though, bro? What is the rush, man?
You're not even the main attraction. You are a supporting actor.
So let's talk about how many main events. No, I'm not going to talk about how many main events that Jaron Ennis had, because this is not about Ennis. I just want you to do your homework. I want you to do your homework. How many times have Ennis headlined the card outside of Avanesian? How many times? And what is the rush, being that there's a fighter who just earned the chip inside the ring, and now you're trying to say, he's been a supporting actor. A 23-year-old fighter and a 27-year-old fighter still in their 20s. And he's up here acting like there's some type of rush that needs to happen. We need to expedite these freaking champions and rush them through their career. 23 years old now. 27 years old. They need to rush. Yeah, it would be great to see a unification. It would have been great, bro, to see a unification in the welterweight division. Absolutely. But you're talking about a supporting role when you're the co-main event and you're getting paid a higher check than you got your last fight. What is that considered? A plus. That's a plus right there.
On this card. That's why people are saying that, Senior. As far as for Boots Ennis, in that situation, it's a unification that you guys can have. It's a big fight, and it's way more money than what you're currently getting. So in boxing, fans are gonna do this. We're gonna call you a duck when we watch you have two offers on the table. At the end of the day, you had two offers. You had Jerron Boots Ennis. You had your voluntary defense against Huegos Rancheros.
Now let me call bullshit on this light-skinned cat one more time. Does this sound familiar to you? You remember back in 2022, he was saying the same shit of who? They were saying that Crawford was double dipping. You remember? I do. This is the same shit. These niggas have producer notes and they have shit that they go by, but they get mad like a nigga like me that's out here and I do a reaction on your shit. That's the same motherfucking language he was using when it was Crawford. Talking about he was double dipping with BLK Prime instead of putting his entire interest into the Spence fight, knowing that the Spence fight and Crawford situation is somewhat similar to what we're talking about. The negotiations just didn't add up. The numbers wasn't mathing. It wasn't jiving, right? So therefore, boxing is a business. It's not just a business just because you want to put it into a debate and you want to run some numbers. But this is comparable situations here. Crawford and Spence, it dipped out because the money wasn't jiving. Ennis and Norman Jr. dipped out because of the money, especially with all those freaking payouts. So we live to fight another day. Why do we have this language out here? If he gonna take the moment to sit up here and talk about the fans, nigga, you don't speak for all the fans. And there's a lot of people that don't want to join the group of fans that you're talking about if they sitting up here listening to you talk some bullshit. Real talk. As some people say, real rap. Who are these fans you talking about? That's one thing I don't like. Is when people try to talk about the fans. That's not my language, bro. The fans. Who are these fans you talking about? You're singular, bro. You're one person. Who else are you gonna bring into it? Who else is gonna sit up here and try to be your mouthpiece? Because I'm listening to your words and your words only, and you're sounding just like you did when it was Crawford Spence. You're sounding the exact same way when you were saying Crawford was double dipping with freaking BLK Prime and PBC. And he wasn't putting his entire effort into the PBC, knowing that he already had a fight lined up, and that shit was put to bed. You're doing the exact same thing with this. Oh, you had two offers. And people are going to say you're a duck because he just explained to you about the offers.
Whatever his name is, right? Those are your two offers. You guys looked at both of those offers and you chose the voluntary defense for less money. That's just the fact of the matter. You looked at both of them and you said, we're going to take the easier fight for less money.
All right, so you're
You know, I can go a step farther, right? These are the same type of cats that sit here and try to talk business, and Teofimo Lopez fought George Kambosos instead of Devin Haney. He wasn't obligated to fight Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Because the franchise belt put that freaking barrier up there. When Vasily Lomachenko was elevated and he vacated the belt and he became franchise champion. So therefore, it opened up the pathway for him and freaking Teo to fight. When Teo beat Lomachenko and became the undisputed lightweight division, guess what? They was up here talking about, oh man, You a duck. You a duck. You didn't fight him. He didn't have to when it comes down to it. But he had to fight Camboso, or else he would have lost the IBF championship, right? So he fought Cambosis, and he had a bad night.
You ready again? First of all, you're wrong about promotion. We do not have to pay none of the same fees. That's $300,000 off the top that we don't.
And I just want to let y'all know that, this is when he, cut off his camera. He had to go find that corner bottle. You know what I'm saying? He had to go take it to the head because that shit got, that shit started to creep up on him like, goddamn, I need to do these motherfucking sober.
We don't have to pay top rank shit. I don't know where now one of y'all man coming from. We don't have to pay top rank a motherfucking penny. On the belt, you pay $45,000 less because you're only paying for one belt. So all of the fees you're talking about, you don't have to do all that. Enemy territory, behind enemy lines. You're on another person's promotional situation. You in their hometown. You dealing with hometown. The same as that thing we just went through with top rank when it was, let's fight this. Watch this. Let's fight this. Because when you win, it's the same thing with the boost situation would have been. Let's fight this because when you win this, now you the man. Now you can make the calls. You can do this because you're gonna be the champion, right? Which is exactly what we did. So now you talking about significantly less money is actually half. Why you think you know what you're talking about is actually half. He's making half of what he would have made.
A, and then B, like, I'm not gonna point the shit out for you. Don't worry, bro.
He don't think he knows shit when he don't know. He does. Listen to me, for none. I'm telling you, the promoter, you make the promoter money. You make it. People come to Atlanta and say what happened.
Watching that shit back is bad for you, bro. I cannot believe that you had the audacity, bro, singing to do that shit, bro.
I don't know what the fuck this dude, latitude, longitude, I don't know what the fuck he crashing at. For him to come back and do a follow-up and talking about looking back at it, it was bad. I don't know. You had him on your show. You're the one that looked like an idiot. You're the one who didn't have the counter when the counter depended on it. It was time for you to have a 10-8 round, goddammit. And you end up being knocked out. You know what I'm saying? You could have had a 10-8 round if you had the counter. If you had the counter punches with the information that you needed, doing those exchanges that y'all had, if you would have won those exchanges, and possibly you would have had a 10-8 round. But no, you got beat up very, very bad. You got beat up very, very bad on your own panel. The one good thing about it is that you have time to grow. Another positive aspect is that you have the freedom to attend a fight, attend a fight, attend a fight, attend a fight, attend a fight. You have that opportunity. You still have that open landscape to attend a fight and increase your knowledge. That's all. You have options, brother. You cannot continue to go on here and have people on your panel just to sabotage them. What growth do you think you're gonna get from this? What growth? When you had Shakur on, and when you had the opportunity to communicate with Shakur Stevenson, a 3-weight world champion, what was your purpose in addressing him the way you did, all aggressively? Like that would be the same energy you would keep in person. Like you was going to be walking through his group of people, talking ill shit about him as if he's not out here stepping to the ropes and doing the fighting. Well, you just say it's a one-off? All right, look, what are you doing? Okay, the fighters that you support heavy, why don't you have them on your panel? Why are you always trying to get fighters that you don't rock with at all, have them on the panel, and try some childish ass bullshit to make them look stupid, grown ass adults now, and think that that's going to grow your channel just by one-offs? Why you just don't try to build a rapport and be mature about it and have a sensible conversation? You damn near 40, going on 50 freaking years old, and you're still up here trying to have people on your panel to call them a duck. You know how stupid that is? Like, do you not see how dumb that is. You're still trying to have people on your panel to call them a duck. It's almost like you can't let go of that favorite toy that you had growing up. Man, grow up in this boxing game, bro. Grow up in this boxing game. Real talk. You're doing one-offs with legitimate bona fide fighters that's in their 20s. When you should have built a rapport with them, so when they start having these bigger fights, they will return back to your panel and they will give you the opportunity to have a dialogue for your listeners on your panel. But you coming up here doing dumb shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just want to talk to them and talk as if they're subordinate. Like you want to try to say, well, I'm going to say you're lying, or you didn't look this way, or you should have did this, you should have did that. I'm saying to myself, if you believe that you have the answers for these fighters, why don't you just get into the business of boxing? It's plain and simple. Why don't you just affiliate yourself by going through the process, whether you want to be a manager, you know what I'm saying? Get with Shaw News for whatever he's charging you. He can explain to you what it's going to take to get licensed in whatever state that you want to get licensed in, so you can really start finding out how difficult it is in this boxing business, because you're playing around with it, bro. Get licensed. Become an intricate role player. Become one of the individuals that your phone is going to ring because you have a fighter that's on deck, that you're in charge of, that you're managing. Right now, you ain't managing a piece of lint. You can't even manage your fucking shadow. Your shadow don't even want to fuck with you when it comes to goddamn boxing. So for you to do one-offs and having these people, whether it be a team member or a boxer on your panel, and it's usually somebody that you don't like, that you're biased, and you think bringing them on there, trying to act like you're educating or catching them in a lie, they're going to look at you and like, man, you're fucking stupid. Like what is going on with your head, bro? Like, why would you have me on here? I'm not no run-of-the-mill motherfucker. Like, I've been in this boxing game for a long time with these fighters. I know a lot of people. But you're bringing these cats on a panel to argue with them, to act like you're trying to snare them in a trap. You know what I'm saying? Like you playing a little kid's game. What is the purpose if you're saying you're making all this money and you the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be? Why are you bringing these damn fighters that are active in the game right now, who's doing big things in the sport? Why would you burn that fucking bridge before you had a chance to cross it back and forth? You stupid. You're not even trying to develop a rapport as a content creator. You are a perfect example of a content creator. You're there, you're having the access, you're bringing these people on your panel, and you're doing one-offs because they don't want to fuck with you no more, because you up here trying to treat them like they're a child. Like, hey, I'm going to play this little game with you. I'm going to try to catch you in a lie. I'm going to cook you. I'm going to put you in the title that I cook you. What was your purpose in having no relationship, have never been to a Brian Norman fight, to try to bring them on there? When are you going to bring Bozy on there? When? You want to get these names over here and you want to talk all that shit. Go to a fight and talk the same shit to the fighter. They have media day. You have the open-ended schedule they provide to those who get approved for credentials. Oh, my bad. You don't do credentials. My bad. I'm just telling you the process if you're able to get approved for credentials, because y'all be talking heavy for the PBC, right? So why can't y'all get a credential? Why can't you get approved for a credential? All you PBC pushers out here, why is it so difficult for y'all to freaking get approved for credentials? Are y'all only good enough to sit at home in a corner and freaking do their work and be laborers? Why can't you get approved for credentials so you can get firsthand knowledge on deck? When are y'all going to be on deck so you can find out what it is and how you go about a fight week? You dudes are getting talent that's still in their 20s, and you burning something down before you even had a chance to build a rapport and have them return back to your panel in their 30s, being that they have basically built on their career. They have added to it now. And you get an opportunity to have them remember who you were from a previous interview. You can call them back. Hey, I was wondering, can you pull up? You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute. Can you pull up and talk to the listeners? We'll truly appreciate, you dropping through again. And depending on how the first interview went, they'll say, okay, cool. But the way you going about it, none of these fighters are going to return back to your panel and talk about nothing. Because you be on some gossip shit, like some reality TV. You all about the drama. You talking to grown fucking men.
Blatantly lie, and then get mad, get defensive, and then call my knowledge into question.
See, that's what I'm talking about arrogant, pompous individual, bro. Your ego is larger than your knowledge base of boxing. That's where you absolutely fail in that.
When it's clear that you blatantly lying, like people not gonna see it, and A, and then B, like I'm not gonna point the shit out for you. Don't worry, bro.
They always talking about they got somebody. Like, look, check this out. Real talk, y'all. Those listening, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game, right? Check this out though. You're talking to another grown man who has a son that's a fighter. And this can go for anybody, right? In the same position. Devin Haney, Bill Haney, freaking Jerron Ennis, Bozy Ennis. You know what I'm saying? Any other father-son tandems that's out there. Teofimo Lopez Sr. Stuff like that, right? Peep this out. Let me ask you this again. Let me lay this out there for you again. When you are somewhat selling these wolf tickets, it's okay. I got you. Okay, it's okay. So in your title, you say I had to cook Brian Norman Sr. What is your purpose for cooking anybody? You're not messing with children, yo. I didn't do headstones because I was dealing with kids. I did headstones because grown-ass adults thought they can fuck with me and get away with it. You understand where I'm at with that, right there? There on iPad, you understand where I'm at. I don't understand why you would put cooking. Why you would sit up here and say so-and-so was lying. You gonna punish him? I mean, what is you gonna get from doing a video? All right, I'm gonna go to my editing skills and I'm gonna make a whole video. Dude, you are becoming a diva, and you've been a diva for quite some time. Your light-skinned ass do diva type shit, bro. And you know why? If it's ever a moment where I can do a reaction video, it's gonna be on yours. Real talk. Especially if you was the one that was selling wolf tickets, telling the nigga, oh, you got my number, you got my number, you got my number. I call you up and you act like you don't know what the syllables are, WCS. Huh? Who? Why you calling me now? Click? Bitch shit. That's you, bro. And you still out here doing the same thing, man. You still out here doing the same shit, bro. You wanna be in it with somebody for no fucking reason. Like you get no monetary benefit from telling him, say, okay, all right. You want to lie? You want to sit up here and act like I wasn't giving you, the knowledge that you need? Okay, all right. I'm gonna go do a video. Man, come on, bro. You're not gonna stop their flow. You're not gonna call Top Rank and get them to reduce their purse in their next fight. You're not gonna give them some bullshit ass gloves. You're not gonna taint their water. You're not gonna be the one holding the spit bucket. And then when he's walking to the ring, you toss the spit bucket in there and he trip over the spit bucket and tweak his knee. You're not the one. Brother, you're not the one. You're going to be right there in the corner in that cubicle, taking it to the head, goddammit, and talking some bullshit.
By the way, so everybody watching this video know, yes, Senior has been invited to refute anything I'm saying.
Who cares, man?
Offered your son way more money than what he's making the fight Fuegos Rancheros, and you got so mad and shit on yourself. You said he talking about significantly less money. He said my son making significantly less money. KO don't know what he talking about. My son is making a little less than half of what he was getting off of boots. You said that shit hard. You said it with your chest too, didn't you? Making half is the definition of significantly less. If somebody's making $1 million a year and they shit get cut to $500,000 a year, they making half of what they were making the previous years. They gonna be like, yo, that's a big ass pay cut.
Talking of pay cuts, while you're on the topic, I just need to ask you something. You know, when you're going through your dramatic, freaking outreach to the fans just now, you know what I'm saying, as I'm playing this, right? You seem to be in a confined area. And what I want to know, I remember when you came into my chat and you was talking and trying to act like you dictated who was in my chat and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And also you act like you said that you make more money than everybody and me and all that. But I'm just curious though. I'm just curious. There is ways for you to show that you have traction in your growth of your channel. And the reason why I'm putting that out there, because I don't want you to injure your shoulder moving around too quickly and hit the corner of the wall, because it seems like that space is pretty tight. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you goddamn turning too quick and you goddamn hit your head on that wall and get a CTE concussion. You know what I'm saying? If you're making the money, why can't you get permission to rent a space? My guy Sean News, he has a professional setting and how he goes about doing his. It shows your growth. Y'all getting all these freaking super chats since we in people pockets. You getting all these super chats, but yet you still sitting right there. You ain't moved a lick. You can't start up the vehicle. You don't have permission to get outside the house. You can't go to another location where you can improve your professional setting and let people know that their donations and their support for your channel is going to a good cause, a solid cause. If you cannot improve your own freaking setting and show people that you're basically taking those donations, put into something of value, why are you up here talking about other boxers' freaking decision about their checks? Why, brother? Why are you doing this type of shit? You shouldn't have permission to go out here, though we do have the Constitution. And you pretty much is lying heavy on the First Amendment, right? But therefore, the First Amendment can be scrutinized too, especially when it comes to what you're putting out here to the media. You're in other people's pockets when you're not even taking the donations that you're getting and getting a professional freaking setting outside of the nice and snug. You probably have to put WD-40 on your shoulders to get into that cubicle. You probably have to pour goddamn Castrol on your motherfucking shoulders and shit. Okay, slide in here. I know you feel like you weighing 400 pounds sliding into that little area in the corner. But you're going to talk about another fighter's paycheck. When are you going to, manage your finances properly and move away from that corner? Because I already told you about the cup. I see you trying to dip off camera with the cup. You think I didn't see the cup. You just changed it. I see it. But see, one thing I know about people who got to have that cup, they're going to get on here and show who they truly are, because they're not totally competent and clear-minded when they're out here. You can't go out here freestyling with that liquid in you. You know what I'm saying? But do me a favor, though. Do me a favor. Try to invest just a little bit. Just put something to the side and go to a library, go to somewhere where you can have access. You know what I'm saying? Once again, call up my guy Sean News. He can point you in the right direction for a small fee. You know what I'm saying? You'll be okay. You have like 300 or 400 in your chat, right? 300, 400, that's a lot of people. All you got to do is get them to goddamn donate $1. Just $1. $1 a day will keep the blinds away. You know what I'm saying? $1 a day will keep the Castrol and WD-40 away, shawty. That's all I'm saying.
If somebody offer, if your son made $100,000 in the last fight, and they offer him 50,000 in his next fight, yeah, that's half. That's significantly less. We saying the same shit. You just trying to act like you disagree with me because you don't like the fact that I'm pointing that shit out to you.
When you rent a space that's larger than the cubicle, I'm guessing that's your resident, that's significantly more space that allows you to have a larger camera angle, that allows your listeners to see that you are investing. You know what I'm saying? That you are taking the donations that they're giving you to support your channel. Because God damn it, you shouldn't be talking about other people's pockets. You shouldn't be talking about other people's pockets when you got to hold your breath to slide in between that small little area. And you get nice and comfy. You up there feeling like you're a goddamn member of the Biggest Loser. Man, I just got 320 pounds to lose. Oh, my bad. I only weigh 220. Damn. I'm gonna have to goddamn. Is there any way? Oh, if I push the table forward, I won't be able to freaking open the door. Damn. You know? I mean, good Lord, bro.
And that's what got you in your feelings, bro. That's what got you mad, bro. And that's why you started calling my knowledge into question and shit. And you put your foot in your mouth and said some of the stupidest shit that I'd never heard in my entire time covering boxing, bro.
See, first of all, there's no one out here that can truly validate how long you've been a part of the sport. If you truly look at the thumbnail, it clearly says beginner. Clearly. It says beginner. You have no wins and straight 68 freaking losses via knockout. Real talk, I'm being honest. I'm being as genuine as I possibly can. You're talking to someone who actually, when his son is going to a fight card, the promotion pays for their travel. Oh, my bad. You probably think that the promotion pays for their travel, and then once they get their purse, they take out that same money that they pay for their food, their flight, and their lodging against their will, right? You probably think that, huh? I guess that's what your knowledge has to be, right? You're acting so pompous and arrogant to think that a person that's no way, shape, or form involved with the sport of boxing would even have a clue to challenge someone who's been at their kid's side for years at a time, making those sacrifices for the sport of boxing, and you know more than them. This takes more than freaking recreational soccer games, bro. I mean, how many fight cards have you attended that you say you can have an interview? Like, who have you interviewed, man? On the grounds, on the front lines. Who? I'm just curious. Who, bro?
And we gonna get to that. Because our son did something at 23 years old that Jerron Businis wasn't able to do at 23 years old. You kept saying this shit. First of all, that the 23-year-old shit, you was just deflecting because you was getting cooked.
Oh, so you don't want to give him credit for 23 years of age? But definitely to Errol Spence being a one division champion in his 30s that's finally getting a shot at undisputed. You see all these boxers that's very older fighters having championships and getting to a certain peak, you know what I'm saying? A certain peak in their career where they are advancing, they're winning championships, or they are part of big fights. So you don't want to credit a youngin like this for doing it at 23. You don't even want to really credit Boots at 27. Well, hell, Jahad Tucker's out here, came in the sport 17. I know you probably don't want to credit him for anything because you don't like who he's affiliated with, huh? 21. It don't make a difference. It don't make a difference. 23 years old, that don't make a difference. See, that's where your arrogance is at, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't care about these fighters. All you want to do is try to go up here and act like your boxing knowledge reigns supreme or something. And just because you want to catch somebody in what you consider to be a lie, they're going to have some type of punishment after this video ends. That's stupid as hell, bro.
Bottom line. Because you and I both know your son's age ain't got shit to do with the conversation that we have.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Especially after Crawford, who's going to be 37 years of age this year, and coming off one of the most entertaining, thrilling fights of 2 pound for pound fighters in the sport of boxing. Yes, he was much older when he was able to get this. But let's talk about the younger, like y'all praise in a way for, you know, what he's been able to accomplish as a 4 division champion. Y'all praise the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney being still in his 20s, becoming undisputed. Why don't the age matter? Teofimo Lopez being able to accomplish what he accomplished, still in his 20s. What's wrong with that? Charlo in his 30s. Canelo in his 30s. Deontay in his 30s. You have a lot of fighters that's in their 30s, but yet you're trying to say a person who's supposed to be so educated in the sport of boxing, you don't want to give credit to the young bulls, as they call it, that's coming up in the game? Or you just gonna say, I'm gonna show my extreme bias because I ain't fucking with the Normans. I'm just gonna say 23 don't mean shit. But yet they'll say, well, anybody want to debate, they'll go back in time and try to act like, hey, so-and-so boxer, you remember they was only this old when they did this. And then they say, well, you know, Archie Moore, you know, he became, Archie Moore, he was so old. And then they'll leave out the era that he grew up in and how and why it took him so long to become champion. You know, man, he's just a biased ass, you know, creator, bro.
Give a fuck if he doing something at 23 years old and Boots is 27 years old. Give a fuck how he made this much money at 23 before Boots Ennis made this much money at 23. We don't give a fuck about that.
He don't give a fuck about it because you a hater. Remember, he said that, y'all. For all you fighters that's coming up, he don't give a fuck about the money and what he made when he was 23. He don't give a fuck, but he want to do lives talking about people's purses. He don't give a damn what they did at 20s when it comes to the money and all that, but he want to talk about people's purses.
But you want us to give a fuck about it when you want us to give a fuck about it. When you trying to make your point about your son not ducking.
No sense,
but when I saw him an opportunity to be a main event for the first time on a big card, maybe in Georgia, y'all was doing some headline shit for local shows and bar rooms and shit, and that's no disrespect because
bar rooms. I mean, look, it's funny how you are talking about somebody potentially doing, you know, in bar rooms and all that, when you're barely squeezing into a corner of a cubicle in a resident. I don't know. It might be a 200 square foot, you know, dwelling that you in right now. But how dare you talk about where somebody is fighting? And once again, you don't attend fights. So you just want to sit up here and try to clown and say you're cooking somebody when you don't even have the freaking body of work. You don't have the documentation. You don't have the flight hours. You don't even have the credentials. Show us your work. Show us your work. Show us the credentials that you have to talk this talk. Give us a timeline on when I'm not looking into the screen of the monitor of your PC and I don't see your blinds. I don't want to see that shit when I'm looking at your videos. I know you be happy as hell when the goddamn sun and the lights go out outside, so you don't have that freaking reflection on your freaking screen. I know you happy as hell, dog. You say, damn, I'm glad I can see my whole screen. I don't have to squinch my eyes. Why are you sitting up here acting like, you know, down here in Georgia, you was doing bar rooms? Were you able to go to a bar room fight, or you don't have permission? You stay in the state of Texas, and your catalog don't show you with any type of credentials covering all the fights that's over in Texas, bro. I even went to a fight in your neck of the woods during the pandemic. Why aren't you going to fights? Why aren't you stepping your game up? Where's your documentation? Where's your credentials? How can you sit up here and talk about somebody was fighting in a bar room and you fighting in the corner of your own resident? You fight not to become asphyxiated. Yo, when you start breathing hard and shit, oh, I'm in a close confined, baby, give me the oxygen mask. Give me the inhaler. Yeah. Okay, I'm good. Man, I'm gonna have to go goddamn to the library. I'm gonna have to check on some prices. Seems like the walls are closing in on me, baby. It does. It seems like the walls are closing in on me while I'm up here talking shit about other people. You know what I'm saying? Their house is bigger than mine, but I'm up here trying to prove to everybody I'm in a nice neighborhood and I can talk shit about their finances. But I don't cover no motherfucking fights.
We need that grassroots shit in boxing. We need the amateur system. We need those small shows to bring fighters up.
How many amateur fights have you covered? Who is we? Who is we? How many amateur fights have you covered, though? And if you hear anybody talking, nigga, let's get one thing straight. I'm no way, shape, or form jealous of anything you got going on. I don't hate you or any of that. It's just I don't like who you are as a person. That's all. And since you like going on here talking, shit every now and then, I just found it upon myself. It's my due diligence to do a reaction on your videos sometime, just so I can educate people on the bullshit if it's any. That's all. I'm not saying all your videos are bullshit. I'm just saying this particular one piqued my interest a little bit to come over here and do a reaction. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come over here to look and see what type of cap you had on. I don't get it, man. Some of you niggas with beards, I don't know if that beard gives you strength. You find it somewhat reminiscent of Samson back in the day. I don't know what it is, but you definitely need to get up out of that freaking cubicle and attend a fight ASAP.
Because the bigger promotional companies need to be able to go to certain places to try to find hidden gems and find unfound talent. Don't get it twisted. I'm not disrespecting the come up, but what I am saying is that shit
What?
don't mean nothing when we talking about the big cards, the top rank cards.
What? So look, this is how stupid and ignorant this cat is. He said that shit don't mean nothing when we talking about the big cards. And that's why I call bullshit on the fakery that goes on with dudes like this, because they don't give the amateurs, the future stars, any credit. The very same fighters that they choosing to support heavy once upon a time was in the amateurs, right? But he said it doesn't matter when it comes to the big cards. That's what he said. It doesn't matter. That's because he ain't really been no true dedicated boxing enthusiast. He don't give a fuck about the amateurs. But yet, Keon Davis, the very same card he's reminding Team Norman is that his little brother, Keon Davis, is making his professional debut. I guess amateurs don't matter, huh? Especially when you're making your debut from the amateurs to professional. It don't matter for the big card because he's fighting in his hometown. His home fucking town with Big Bro, who's a silver medal Olympian. Silver champion now from the Olympics. He get the debut in his home, in his backyard, his footprint. But you said amateurs don't matter comparable to the big cards. Yeah, because you niggas love trying to goddamn jump on the bandwagon when these fighters have put in all that sacrifice and shit, and you didn't give a damn about them until they get somewhere where you say, oh, I like that guy right there. Okay, who is that? And then the media start talking about it, and then you want to be a cheerleader and say, oh, can I get an interview with you? I really like who you are. And then get them on here and try to damn catch them in a motherfucking lie.
Cards, the Matchroom cards, the Premier Boxing Champions cards, the Queensberry cards, the Riyadh season cards, the big card, the Golden Boy cards. When it come to big cards, y'all have never been a headline cards. The Matchroom cards, the Premier. Don't get it twisted. I'm not disrespecting.
Let's go through these names he mentioned now. Okay.
The come up, but what I am saying is that shit don't mean nothing when we talking about the big card.
You amateurs hear that? It don't mean nothing when we talking about the big card. Hold him to his words. Now it don't mean shit.
The top rank cards, the match.
Top rank Matchroom. Have you covered the fight there?
Matchroom cards. The Premier Boxing Champions
Premier Boxing Champion. Have you covered cards there?
cards. The Queensberry
Queensberry. Have you covered the card there?
cards. The Riyadh season
The Riyadh season. Have you covered the card there?
cards. The big card. The Golden Boy cards.
Golden Boy. Have you covered the card there?
When it come to big cards, y'all have never been a headline main.
When it comes to the big cards, you have never covered any of them. You have never covered any of them. You have not covered any of them consistently and been there to a fight week and covered a freaking card. Not only are you with 0 victories and 68 knockouts, you are without the documentation to say that somebody's supposed to listen to what the fuck you got to say.
Event on a major platform. They was offering that to you as well. So they offered you way more money than you ever. You didn't even think they wanted the goddamn fight. Interesting. Very interesting, because when telling that story, I went directly back to your Boxing Voice interview where you said you was trying to negotiate and you knew that it could have been a confusion because Boots Ennis is a grown ass man and he could have told Matchroom to send the fight or be trying to make the fight with Brian Norman Jr., your son, and Bozy just didn't know about it because Jerron Boots Ennis is his own man. You said that a little less than a month ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, over on the Boxing Voice, or did you forget? But see, when you getting your ass kicked in an argument and somebody is flaming your ass.
No, when you get your ass kicked in an argument, you say, put all that aside. See, you don't want this work, bro. That's what you say. When you getting cooked, flambéed, goddamn put in a deep fryer, you say, with all that aside, yeah, you want to sweep that wet gravel on the carpet and think you're going to walk on this smooth? No. You're going to have to go back under there and sweep that same shit back out, clean up, and find out it's not that easy. Sweep that, huh? With all that to the side, put all that to the side. That's what you said, right? Since you want to go back and put up details like you cooking somebody.
Ass and you ain't got no comeback for him, you want to go back and you want to revert to some bullshit. Yeah, you want to revert to some bullshit and try to deflect and act like people ain't been watching and ain't been seeing. So 3 weeks ago, when you was on the Boxing Voice, you said that you ain't tripping on the Bozy shit because Boots is his own man. And
you ain't tripping on the Bozy shit, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? What is the Bozy shit? Just explain to a nigga, right? I mean, I'm a black guy. You're Caucasian. Explain without using the N-word. Explain to me, right? What does that Bozy shit mean? Who you think you talking to, bro? You're not talking to a room full of casual boxing fans, man. I want to assume that you understand what your audience consists of. That's all I want you to do. I want to assume that I think that your boxing fans, you have some credible, educated boxing fans in your chat. So when you say the Bozy shit, what does that mean exactly, bro? What does that mean?
And Boots could have said, yeah, make the fight without even talking to Bozy first. But then when you got in my face and I was doing you so dirty, you decided to switch that up and say that once you talk to Bozy, that shit was dead. I ain't even cheering. Once I talked to Bozy, I was like, they ain't even want to fight. But you had already corrected that whole situation 2-3 weeks ago. But when you in that flame broiler,
man, you're not even making no fucking sense. What's wrong with you, man? Goddamn barefoot wine is a hell of a drink, ain't it? What the fuck are you talking about? You keep talking about what somebody said. Was he the A-side? Why are you talking about conversations he had with Boots coming here doing an interview that was inaccurate, putting out inaccurate, false information, but yet, Bozy's been on record as saying that he wanted to unify the 147-pound division, but he was unaware of the conversation that was out to the general public about this fight with Brian Norman Jr. Is Bozy Ennis not the manager of Boots, or what? Who's the manager? Because I know they just was able to get out of the shit with Cameron Duncan, right? Which you don't bring up at all. But you're trying to put this off like Brian and they was the A side and they was making all the moves. What is your reference to validate your argument. Why you keep on saying shit that's unimportant to the entire conversation, bro? What is this cooking shit? You want to talk about cooking a grown ass man who has a grown ass man who has a fighter? Do you have any fighters that you in charge of? First of all, starting with your immediate family.
When you getting your ass put in that pizza oven, you try to judge something about myself. I do a lot of research.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Adrian Clark is your manager.
Now this is what I like. I love the references of Adrian Clark, because he do a lot of research. He does a lot of research, and not to mention the copious notes that he's written down. That's very, very close to his freaking access. Let's see what he has to say about Adrian Clark. Maybe this will get me to change the way I think about, who he is as a content creator.
Adrian Clark got into boxing because of what a promoter was doing to a fighter named Jerry. I'm sure you've heard the story.
Jerry who? Jerry who again? If you read the story, you said you read the book, didn't you?
I'm sure you've heard the story.
He up here looking at his notes and shit. Nigga, your brain ain't it, bro. It's some dark spaces in there, man. You didn't pay the light bill, bro. It's some shit that's goddamn gray and black in that motherfucker. It ain't powering up like it should be.
I've read his book. When I ain't read it, I listened to it.
Exactly, nigga. You lied. You're lying. You didn't read it because that'll take too much. You do research, right? But you said, oh, let me call myself. I listened to it. I didn't read it. I listened to it.
Protect yourself at all times. You had the nerve, being managed by Adrian Clark, to say that promoters don't take money from fighters. That fighters do not have to pay a percentage of their purse to promoters. I need everybody to...
See, this is where he lost badly, because he didn't quite understand. I'm not even going to go through this area with him, because he truly is making himself look much dumber than he actually is, talking about the same shit that he was dumbfounded in. He's up here, oh, he had time to go in there and relax and try to save face by coming up with a counter video. You know what I'm saying? But clearly I put the screenshot out there, right? Of how they was looking when they didn't know what the hell they was talking about. Not so much Fanon. Fanon was just chilling. He was observing. He was listening. But this guy right here, he was up there frowned up as if, oh man, I got to find a way around this shit. I got to find a way around it now.
All kind of crazy shit. But you say you've been in boxing 30 years and you ain't never heard of a promoter getting paid by a fighter. In a standard promotional contract, they are charging fees before. The promoter put it in their contract where they had the right to assign him, meaning they could sell his contract to someone else.
What's that got to do with it? Fees that he has to be paid? What does a promoter selling a contract have to do with anything? I mean, when you have a mortgage on a home, your mortgage company can sell the mortgage. Does that mean you're a broker? Huh? Does it mean you're a broker? Real talk. Does that mean you're a broker? Since you might have the information.
Why we call boxing him only 25% if he go fight somewhere else. But if he fight on their card, they don't charge him nothing. Your son is the only boxer. Y'all negotiate.
He's just rambling.
We want to cost ourselves even more money without charging you a single fee.
You ain't making no fucking sense, bro.
Then Marie.
Hey, I'm gonna end this right here. That's all I needed. You know, the part of it. That's all I needed, because the thumbnail speaks for itself. Real talk. The thumbnail speaks for itself. There's no need to hear the back end of him just, you know what I'm saying, speaking gibberish. You know what I'm saying? Just up here talking to himself, trying to do repair and control. Because when he had the time, he couldn't answer the questions. He went off camera. He talking about he doing a lot of research. But one thing about research, he don't listen to other people that may have the common knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You're going to take somebody that's actually a part of the sport that deals with the sport on a regularity, and you're going to try to question knowledge they have just because you sit behind a PC and you think the information that you're getting from other sites or mainstream media, I'm not saying it don't educate you, but it takes a lot more than that when it comes to speaking about the business of boxing. It's areas that I don't venture when it comes to freaking contracts and shit because I'm simply not a part of that scope of expertise. I'm not a member of that shit. But you like putting your head in that guillotine, goddammit. You love that shit. Real talk, you love that shit. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat, man. Salute to Rachel Donaire, the queen in the building. Salute to you. Shout out to the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience in the building. It was drunken love debating. Hey, man, you have to cut that goddamn camera off for real. Shout out to Blue Hustle in the building. $918 on deck. Haynes Legacy on deck. Mike in the building. Swat Jones on deck. Toby Bartlett on deck. Conquest on deck. Jessica in the building. OG Mr. Golden on deck. Will he say he doesn't give a F about it if he was face to face with Brian? You look, I'm not even trying to damn line him up like that. Because if he was, it don't even have to be anybody singing. It can be anybody that's really, holding down a position in the sport of boxing. That if you was to approach them with that type of energy and they don't know who you are, they're gonna have the same reaction that I would. I'm like, what is this coming from? Why can't you just have a decent conversation? We're talking about something that you're not physically attached to. Like, I'm pretty sure there's areas that Rachel Donaire can educate a lot of people because she's been there and her husband is one of the legends of the sport, and I've been there, done that. But when you talk about somebody from the outside who may have conversation with somebody in the business, right, you're still going to be left out of certain freaking areas of expertise when it comes to the boxing business because you aren't affiliated. You're not on the grounds. You're not a part of those conversations. You're not having brunch with certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? You're not breaking bread and having those conversations talking about shit that exists in boxing. Certain conversations that they're willing to have with you in person, but they won't have with you on the phone. A lot of these people, they will befriend people that are very knowledgeable of the sport, and they'll take their information and then they'll try to retransmit it or reproduce it as if it's their own, knowing that they a single fight. They haven't sat there doing fight week, bored as hell, freaking on their feet, trying to get these interviews, going to talk to these fighters, building a relationship with that. They haven't did that. And then to say that the amateurs don't fucking matter when it comes to the bigger cars just goes to show you. It just goes to show you he don't fucking care about the sport of boxing, because the amateurs is where the seed begins to you sow the seed. It starts to build them up. You cultivate those fighters. Some fighters make it, some fighters don't, but they have to start somewhere. That's why it's called a debut. They make their debut. You just can't say the amateurs don't mean shit because you ain't covered the card. When I shot those amateur cards, those fighters enjoy, me putting the pictures out there and they grabbing the pictures. Oh, somebody actually gave a damn to take pictures the entire fight card? Honor Brown on deck, what's good? Yeah, put all that aside, though. You know what I'm saying, Hustle? Put all that aside, though. I don't want to talk about that. Put all that aside. Without Boxer Sky Sports, Salon won't be very happy. They're going to be doing their first American card in NY December, and they're in NBC Peacock. Well, he's in Texas, I believe. I'm saying, what's good? What's good? Yeah, Jerry. Who? Like, if you listen to someone's freaking um notebook or whatever, who? Jerry Seinfeld? Who is Jerry? Who are you talking about? You have to be more descriptive, be detailed about it. If you're talking about the boxing business, I don't get into, I don't get into the boxing business until you got these fools out here talking about the boxing business. Period. Because I don't care to talk about it. Just like they try to talk and try to act like, you know what I'm saying, my retirement from the military, they somehow have some type of influence on how much I'm getting paid, for the rest of my life from the military. I don't get into other people's pockets. I don't say what they deserve and don't deserve. Why am I going to continue to talk about Canelo getting all this money from a freaking promotion when it's his money and that's what they select to give him? Why am I going to talk about what shouldn't happen? So-and-so shouldn't get this. Why? He ain't did shit. So all the sacrifices. There's no retirement to boxing. You have to hope you were smart enough and educated enough and network with enough people to basically invest your money without it being stole from you. You have to know some people somewhere to be able to invest into something that's going to provide you possibly a residual income once you out the sport. Once you knock those gloves up for the last time, is it going to be able to provide you that income? Did you make enough money in the sport of boxing to survive off you finally fight your last fight? These cats ain't thinking about that. They don't care. They up here talking about 23 years old. I tell you, when I was 23 years old, I was already, shit, I damn near had freaking over 5 years in the military. Real talk. I was doing grown man shit. And you gonna come up here and talk about what a 23-year-old should negotiate a fight, his team should negotiate a fight that they don't see that's beneficial to them? I mean, it makes no sense, bro. It makes no sense at all. Jones says sometimes you just have to sit down and listen. When you're on the outside looking in, why debate someone at the table? Literally. Looking from the inside out. It's a whole other view. Man, well said. You ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to sit up here and act like I'm gonna have a conversation with someone and I'm gonna dictate the flow of the conversation just off what I know from being in the YTC and reading boxing scene and boxing news? That's selfish, bro. And these cats will get mad because I do a reaction and say that I'm jealous. I'm not jealous at all. I'm just looking at you and listening to the way you sound. And I'm being a bigger person to help you understand how stupid you really sound. That's all. I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to assist you. Because you say you was up here and you look this back, you did him so dirty. Nigga, you are damn near in your late 40s, man. You an old nigga talking this young nigga type shit. Grow the fuck up, man. You up here trying to have these conversations like you want to be the man. I can tell the niggas that wasn't shit in school. You wasn't popular in school. You was trying to find your identity. You couldn't hang out with the blacks, and the whites looked at you like, which one? Your mama or the daddy? Which one white? My mama. Okay, that's what I thought. Why she didn't choose no? Huh? You can't hang out with us. I'm serious. I'm serious, man. You could tell these cats that really was trying to find their identity their whole younger years, and they found a platform where they can feel like they're independent, and they can go out here and fool people into believing that they're more important than they truly is. To come in somebody's chat and boast and talk about you make more money, but you can't retire. You make more money than me, but you can't retire. Why is that? You can't retire from the YTC? You can't retire from your... Like, how are you going to sit up here and downplay and say that you make all this freaking money, but you can't retire now? That's what I look at as far as these cats that brag, that's braggadocious about their money. Like, why you just can't stop working? You say you're rich, you're making all this money. I make more money than that. Dude, enjoy that. Be blessed. But at the end of the day, WCS is always going to remind you their knockdown iPad pager number 68 that you don't know shit about boxing. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. I'm out.